First of all, let me just say this is a wonderful opportunity. This is, I think, the first time since the book has come out that Chris and I have had an opportunity to read together. I've read a few times in Chicago. I read before. The book had actually been published, and we've read in other places, New York, and I'm trying to think of where else. A few other places. But it's wonderful to actually be able to read from the book in Chicago with Chris. I'm going to start, though, with a piece that's not part of the book. And to keep with the art theme, this is a poem I wrote. I don't know if any of you have ever seen the movie How to Draw a Bunny, about the artist Ray Johnson. He was like this really sort of incredible, unknown artist, subversive artist of the late 20th century. And he was really sort of over the top. And all I'll say, if you haven't seen the movie, is that his final art act is, really quite extraordinary. Although people don't really know if it was an act, or sort of an artwork or something else. But anyway, he had this idea that when he could not remember things, he would come up with mnemonics. So this poem is called Untitled Modicos, Ray Johnson. And so the question is, the black singer, Antarctican, bunnyheads, cover, Dear Joseph Albers, Eskimos, not quite it. Feigen Gallery, gasoline, hat, black, isolated. January 13, kill, do not. Lucky Strike, mountain, black. Nothings, osmotics, postage, queen's fingernails, rayon. Silhouettes, throwaways, tender buttons, urinating, Venetian, blind-like effect, water, street, xerography, yellow circle, Zoroastrian, Norman Solomon. Answer, Al Green. One of the things I tried to do was to imagine if the drawings asked question of themselves. And the poet Ed Roberson, who wrote really an extraordinary little introduction to the book, picked right up on that. And I was so happy. I said, he saw it. Okay. So this is the drawing, or one of the drawings, you can say, talking to itself. It's asking itself questions. Self, black self, is there another label? Raised to itself as global agent, figure and ground, impel representation. Does selving assign or resignify? Does it overlap merely as configuration of lines or psychosexual momentum? In the mark, how does one identify authenticity or its inverse? Subjects arise or arrive, geometric and perspective, layering sleeves into which identity presses. Subjectivity, or is there another label? In the selving, in a variety of mathematical applications, a shearing into abstract models, yet visual logic retains the inner contours, pictographic properties. Self, black self, is there differentiation? A riveting in which superposition remaps loosely upon the other. Preconceptualizations arise on each differentiable map. The inverse of one self overlapping another. In nature, expression, or is there an other? In the image, planar space disrupts the placement through which the selving transforms. Self, labeled a global versus the local in each dialogic vector. In the end, refuse signature. Okay. The book, it really is a dialogue, and There are other people who come in to the dialogue, or the, what do you call that, a pantalogue, a multilogue. So one of the people, Chris and I would send these, I would have the drawings, and then we would send emails back and forth. And you can probably hear some of the conversation even with his poems. And so one of the poets that I was also kind of in conversation with, and I asked her at one point, well, how am I going to do this? And she said, you're going to do this. You can do it. Is a poet named Mindy Obadike. So this is called M.O. Poesis, and M.O. stands for Mindy Obadike, but it also is modus operandi. And it's about the poesis, the actual drawing, and also the writing. Thinking and wondering how to stutter. Poetry. Thinking and wondering how desires armor her. How the paper and fold are positioned, yearning. In public is quiet, without power or armor, the backs of her poems struck silent, stuck and lost, so, or scooping up and working that, out of shy and felt and separate. How do they stand? To dedicate myself, to message and process after talking, do that, I didn't do that. To sheer poetry, share it. Little notes on the backs of her promise, opening. A fierce circle of thinking up front. Presenting. Things found written on the screen on presence itself. Thinking wheels, writing. The group, conceptual as art is, shit peep yet never said before her thing, things think. To roll, to have a roll, going all hard and reeling, paper reels and sticks in their imagination lines. All that in one place, on it, onto it, in it. Whom will I gather into these folds?